Hello everyone, welcome back to another tutorial. In this tutorial, we'll take a look at how to install Slurpit through the Docker method. So generally we have two methods of installation in basically regarding Slurpit, and one is Docker, which is pretty simple. The other is the OVA file and basically through virtual machine, either VMware or VirtualBox. In this video, we'll learn the Docker method, and if you want to do that, you go to Get Started. You go to free download. You have to fill in your full name and business email. So let me do that. And you're going to click to download. And basically, these two links would appear. And the first one is the link to our GitLab repository. So I'm going to click on this. And the page is loaded, and basically this is the network discovery repository, and it contains all the images that you need to install Slurpit. So we have here some documentations and quick start guide and so on, both for Windows and Linux and Mac. But since it is a video and you probably don't want to read this, I'm going to keep it hands-on. So we have to clone this first. Go to code, and if you use git clone like me, you use the HTTPS method. And I'm going to go to my WSL, and I'm going to say git clone, and basically this is the name or the link to the repository. I'm going to clone this. The repo is cloned. To make sure, I'm going to do ls, and the name is images, so we can probably change that to something else. I'm going to cd into images and do ls again, see the components. So the recommended method to change the variables and parameters is to do it via the override YAML file instead of the original Docker Compose file. So what we need to do here is I'm going to copy this and say move. I actually have it here. This is how you can change or rename your file in Linux. We're gonna move this one to a new name, and basically this one will be deleted. So I'm gonna do that and do ls again. As you can see, the name is changed. And if you want to change the ports, the base URL, and so on, you're gonna do it through this manifest file instead of the original Docker Compose file. So let me open up Docker, not Compose, rather override in VS Code. And there we go. This is the override file, and this is the Docker Compose file. So basically, if we want to change anything, we would do it from this file and make the changes to this one. And it will be replicated to the original Docker Compose file when we are pulling the images from GitLab. Basically, it will be overridden whatever we have here with new values from the override file. And what I'm going to do is change this port to 81 because I'm running something on port 81. And this part is very important. If you change the port here, you have to change it here as well. If you change it here, but don't change it here, but just append the port 81 at the time of typing in the browser, it is not going to work. So for example, if that's the case, this is the config, and I say Docker Compose up, go to my browser, put in localhost colon 81 in the browser, that is not going to work. The content of the web page would not be fully loaded. So you have to provide the full URL, including the port, in the Docker Compose file attached to the base URL parameter. So I'm going to save this, and I'm going to go back to terminal. And basically, if you use Linux, you run this shell script up.sh. If you use Windows, then you're going to run up.bat. So to make sure what the content of up.sh is, I'm going to open it up, and we're going to pull the latest images from GitLab. Then start the containers by saying -d to kind of suppress the additional logs and make the output cleaner. So I am going to say bash op shell. It is going to take a while, so I'm going to pause the video and come back. So the images are pulled and also they are started. And I can also go to Docker Desktop to make sure. By the way, you have to have Docker Desktop before running any Docker command in the CLI. Otherwise, if the Docker engine is not running in the backend, it's not going to work for you, and no Docker command is recognized by your operating system. So I had already started Docker Desktop, and this is probably your best bet if you use Windows. If you use Linux, then there are some CLI options. As you can see, the symbol is green, and if I click on the Slurpit, all these images are running. And if you want to access the page, you would use HTTP or HTTPS. I'm going to use HTTP port 81, which is the outer port. So click on this, and there we go. And the username and password is admin@admin.com, and password is 1 all the way through 8. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Log in, and we are in the web application. So I hope this was informative. I will see you in the next tutorial.